Welcome back to What Are Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the UDES 03. It's a Tier 8 Swedish tank destroyer. It's located on the northeast spawn of Highway, and this one is under the command of the TheCrazyPlatypus. And I think we've got no engine noise, have we?
Let's go.
Yeah, I'm afraid we've got no engine noise. We could try to restart and see if we'll get that back. Because Wargaming, yep, they're being difficult, and we'll speed up the replay just a little. Do we get any engine noises? You can see what I'm trying to work with here. Sometimes they don't play along. Oh, we do get engine noises.
Let's go.
Okay, but we get no tracks. As usual, Wargaming have totally mucked up. You either get one or you get the other, but you don't get both on the 1.17.1 client. It doesn't work. Well, it does if you actually do have a computer that starts right from the start, but it is something to do with the client. Now, the UDES, it's armed with a 105mm main gun, capable of doing 390 alpha, and it will penetrate through 2 88mm of armor. Now, this tank was designed in the 1970s. It was a blueprints only tank, so none of them actually existed, but it would have been a S-tank. It would have been a tank commanded or aimed using the tracks, the hydraulics, to alter the direction of the vehicle, and of course has a fixed gun. This vehicle was also known as the mountain goat because technically speaking, it would have had tremendous abilities to use gun depression to actually affect the enemy. 14 degrees of gun depression. First shot hits an FB4202 and managed to get 327 hit points. Second shot hits a star 2. So it's working out so far. A lot of hit points thanks to our guys up front who are actually spotting for us. TheCrazyPlatypus is the player, by the way. If I didn't mention him right from the start, I think it's a male. I'm pretty sure it is a male. I keep getting confused though because of his name. And the UDES again. Yep, that was a big mistake, popping up as high as he did. You really do need to come around the corner like that Star 2 is trying to do, but if you do, yeah, you can get hit as well. Now, the reload is quite long. 11.22 seconds is the standard reload. TheCrazyPlatypus has got it down to 8.69. You can see that you have to snap to the enemy as quickly as you possibly can whilst in siege mode. Again, two versions of handling. You either have the cruise mode, or where you come out of siege, or you have the siege mode where you can actually get fantastic aiming. I must admit, when the wedges first came out, I actually managed to get a kill without using siege mode quite easily. I got the hang of it after a while without having to go into siege mode. It was a bit of a problem though going into siege mode because of course it was 2 seconds delay before it actually engaged, and it's the same with the UDES 03. It does have great gun handling in siege mode. Great elevation and depression, 14 degrees of gun depression, 12 degrees of, trying to remember. The gun elevation, 20 degrees, that's it. Right, well, change position. Goes back to siege mode again. Our guys have pulled back a bit now. Still waiting for the enemy to be spotted. The Cobra's the one who's taking up the spotting now, and we've got an Su-130 somewhere in the marsh down by the river. I think he's using one of the bushes down there to spot the enemy when they move up. Now, supposedly there's 4 tanks ahead of us, including a CS-52 Liss, a Barask, a UDES, and I think a Progetto 46. So some considerable combined firepower up there. He's just holding back here for the moment. Oh, and the Barask has found him. Now he's got 2 shots, so he's going to change position. can see where it actually impacted on the front of the vehicle. Now, the Crazy Platypus is actually trying to work towards his third mark. You can see he's got 2 marks already. And so he is trying to maximize the amount of damage he does. Is he going to go to siege mode? He's worried about that box getting close. He's gone to siege mode now. Of course, that restricts his ability to move about whilst he's in siege. Slows him down tremendously. No, he's come out of siege and changing position again. Well, that was the ISU-152 firing around in one of the enemy tanks. The Brass did take a hit, but I think that was from the Cobra, and the Cobra went down. I think he just got double tapped by not just the Barras, but also some of the guys who were behind him. And it looks to me like the Crazy Platypus has decided to take up a middle place, so it can actually affect what's going on in town, as well as attack anyone who actually comes up towards the cap area. Also got a T-54 first prototype already sitting in the spotting bush there. And, ooh, look at that, dialing in. Goes right for the side of the vehicle. He didn't want to hit the front because he only tracked the guy, but if he actually hits the side, he's got a chance of getting the ammo rack. Meanwhile, that TNH is actually behind the building, so he can't get a shot at him at the moment. But if he pulls forward, there is a gap between the buildings and he can shoot through that. Is he going to pull all the way about the back? He's now behind the ridge line. There he is. Nice shot. Again, trying to go for the weak spots in the centre of the vehicle. TNH pulled back. Yeah, the bad news is that Liz, the Fox, has actually made it to the edge of that ridge line now. And there he is, popping up to have a quick look to see where everyone is. I don't think he saw us, though. I really don't think he saw us, and I think he's probably going to try and come up by that spot, in which case he might be very accurately taken out. Oh, it ricocheted off the turret, and we would have been spotted by that, surely. Well, no sixth sense has gone off, so maybe he didn't see us. Well, changing position. Go slightly sideways in order to get up here. It's going to try and use that 14 degrees of gun depression to try and attack the enemy, stop them from capping. And he's popped up. Can he get a shot on this? Yes! Oh, lovely! He got the kill, even though he couldn't see the target anymore. The UDES 16's no more. He's got very thin armour. It's a very accurate gun. Okay. No more enemies turned up from the other end. See, our Brask has made a quick dash across the battlefield. He's actually now threatening the enemy cap area. But the thing is that at this moment, the Crazy Platypus can't move away from here because there is a possibility that there'll be 2 enemy tanks making their way into the cap area. And if we move away, then our Arty is going to suffer. It's a school bus, the SU-14-2. He's just down in the dip to the right of us. So we can't leave this area, because if we do, he dies, and we lose the cap area. Okay, we've got a shot. Nice one! That one hit the side of the turret, but we were spotted this time. We're just trying to use the grass to get shots. The enemy would have seen us, and that's the RT firing. And another shot, this time through the turret of the Progetto. Oh, we can see the tornado wind up in the corner of the map. No effect upon the game whatsoever, but the Conway's a big problem now. He really hasn't had that much of an effect upon the battle, and yes, takes a hit for 414, which is a high roll. Get another shot in. Yes, we can do it. Thin armour on the Conway. Taking the damage, the FV404. And he's out the game. So 3 kills now for the Crazy Platypus and 4,600 hit points of damage. And of course that's not including the blind kill on the UDES 16. He's now changing position to get nearer to the cap area, and he's joining the 50 TP. The E75, well, he seems to have stopped where he was in his tracks, but he's come back from the town because it appears that the enemies have abandoned the town themselves. Maybe they're going to try an attack from a different direction. Yeah, I think I prefer actually having the tracks and no engine noises rather than having the engine noises and no tracks. It just aesthetically looks better. Well, Sixth Sense didn't go off when we knocked the tree down, but the enemy might spot. Oh, hello. Yep, he did see us, and unfortunately we took a 90mm round from the Progetto. We have to change position now because there's enemy Arty. They would take the opportunity to put a round in there. Oh, there's the noise from enemy Arty. Yep, good job we changed position, except of course he didn't guess our position correctly because the Crazy Platypus was clever enough to actually put some sideways movement. It didn't just pull backwards. He actually did pull back and change direction altogether. Okay, we've got two enemy tanks coming in. Oh, there goes the 50 TP. Trying to get around to the bushes, but this is a problem because now we've got SU-130 PM. We pump one in, and the 13cm round finishes us off with 5,113 hit points. There's only one left on our team, and that's the school bus. So this one is a loss, I'm afraid. But I think it's a good loss because that's a huge amount of damage. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was an ace tanker game for the Crazy Platypus in the UDES 03. Managed to get a Phyto badge for getting at least 4 kills, got 4 exactly. Also a 5 for effect for doing more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle. And he got a high caliber for dealing the most damage in that game overall, as well as a tank sniper for doing the most damage at a distance of 300 meters or more. And look at the win rate, very high indeed, 11,658. Well, that's the sort of win rate you'd expect if you were working your way up to a third mark all the way. Let's have a look at team score. Yep, highest damage, 5,481 hit points. The second highest damage was the ISU-152K on the enemy team, the premium tank destroyer, 3,283 to him. And the third highest damage actually went to the TNH T-Viz-51 with 2,607. When it came to kills, the highest scorer again is Crazy Platypus, but he shares it this time with the Brask, who also managed to get a Leather Slayer's medal. And when it came to second place, it's the ISU-152K and the Conway, both had 3 kills apiece. And finally we got the SU-130 PM who actually killed him, he got 2 kills. And when it came to base XP, it's the enemy team that comes out on top here. 996 went to the ISU-152K, 990 went to the Barask, 906 went to the CS52 Liz. And we can see that the Crazy Platypus managed 774 in this game, which puts him above all but 5, so is it 5? No. All above 7 of the enemy, so all but 7 of the enemy managed to get better than him. So he's in 8th place overall. Let's have a look at detail. 20 shots fired, 18 direct hits on the enemy, 16 penetrations. Good aiming, good pen on these rounds. 5,481 hit points, of which 3,593 were at more than 300 meters. So the vast majority of the damage he did was at long range. He also received 3 hits from the enemy, all 3 penetrated. The armor on this vehicle is pretty negligible. It's only 20mm all the way around, which means that just about anything it touches the vehicle is going to go through. In fact, the armor on the front is more likely going to get overmatched. It is at a very, very, very fine angle, which obviously means that certain rounds should bounce off if they hit the armor at the right angle. But seeing as it's only 20mm, it could be overmatched by a 60mm round. And yes, most of these tanks are carrying 90mm or above. He also spotted 1 enemy vehicle, damaged 9 of the enemy, killed 4, and also did 279 hit points of damage assistance. Earned 56,478 credits on a premium count, got 5,184 for courageous resistance, That's for getting an epic or battle hero medal in a losing or drawn game. 61,662 credits altogether, and after repair and ammunition resupply, he still made a profit of 11,262 credits, 1,161 XP, 649 for Courageous Resistance, took away 1,810 experience points altogether. I think in the end his team fell apart right at the moment when he didn't need them to. If they'd managed to hold up the enemy just a little while longer, they might have been able to do something about it, but they were outnumbered, and it was both on numbers and on hit points. So even though he managed to get that nice shot into the SU-130PM, the SU-130PM just finished him off with just one round, and that was the end of the game. But fairly good result all the same, shows that he was persevering, and of course that he was getting great accuracy with that lovely 105mm gun. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.